Good morning. It's Saturday, February 16th, 2019. There's been lots of changes leading up to this ride this week, mainly due to the rain that we've been having this past few days. It's just been heavy rain, and there's lots of road closures and flooding going on. And, as you can see, I'm crossing the river here. Where the river is reaching flood state levels almost. Within a few feet, actually, it would be flooding. Ooh, where are we gonna put this? Put it in here, and then at the end I can just lift this up. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe. How's it going?
I hope you can enjoy that. There's 3 spots on the course where I did put signs with double arrows or triple arrows. So Sweetwater, Black Mountain.
Well, that was a very difficult bike race, so let's talk a little bit about it. Let me take you through the highlights of the race. I'm going to talk a little bit about the weather conditions, and then of course I'll follow up at the end with the results. But before we get into that, I do want to talk momentarily about my bike choice and what I did and why I chose the bike that I chose for this ride. So going into the ride, there was, I studied the course, and each year the courses are somewhat different, and this year the course was somewhat different. This year we excluded Old Cazadero Road, which has a dirt descent, a creek crossing, and a dirt climb shortly after. That was taken out of the course as a result of a previous landslide from a few years ago that is continually getting worse. And so for the sake of safety, the whole Old Cazadero section was taken out, and instead we ended up staying on the highway from Guerneville to Cazadero. And that meant there was going to be a whole lot more pavement on this ride than previous years. So with that in mind, my bike choice was a road bike, a titanium road bike that I've had for a long time. And I put 28mm tires on it, which have almost zero clearance between the tire and the brake. So it was not a good off-road choice, but a good on-road choice, especially since the roads here are very rough and bumpy. So the 28mm tires provided a little extra cushioning, but still lightweight and fast. And that was the biggest tire that could fit on the bike. So the other thing that I was going to do for the bike was I was going to bring this handlebar bag, and at the very last minute I decided to take it off. This is a very lightweight bag. It's a brevet bag, so it's not real big, but it's perfect for carrying just a few extra things. And the reason I regret not having this is because during the ride, we got hit with several rainstorms. I needed to take off and put back on my rain jacket several times during this ride, and it would have been really handy to have this bag. This bag I could have also carried extra food, but also just an easy place to put my rain jacket between the rainstorms. This would have been really nice. But I decided at the very last minute to take it off only because I didn't have any way of putting my number plate on the front of this. I thought about putting it in the map case on top, but then at the same time I didn't want to get disqualified for some reason. So I decided to forego this, and at the end I really regretted it. I should have just gone ahead and used it. So note to self for next year, if there's going to be any sort of rain off and on during the ride, handlebar bag is going to be your best friend. And get a lightweight one. You don't need a real fancy one. You just need something to put that extra layer in. Something like this would be perfect. All right, the bike choice was fine. I did pay a penalty at the very end doing the Willow Creek climb because it was mud and it was dirt and mud, and I was finding myself having to clear out the brakes a few times because it was clogging up with redwood needles and mud and things like that. So I did stop a few times to clear it, but that wasn't a big overall loss in time, considering the fact that the bike itself was very, very light, and it helped me with all the climbing. So that was a good choice overall. The course itself was fine. So the way this ride was set up is the start of the registration was in Sebastopol, California, and then from there we would ride to the official start line, which was about 12 miles away. And then from there we would stage and then start the race. And the reason that was done is because Sebastopol and the surrounding roads are somewhat busy and narrow, so it wouldn't be safe to have that many riders going through these areas all in one big group. So it was decided upon by the organizers to just do a neutral roll through town out into the countryside to where the roads are often quiet in the morning and not a lot of traffic. Well, we've had so much rain leading up to this ride that the road itself, right near the park where we were planning to have the staging area, the road itself was flooded. So at the last minute, the organizers had to reroute the start line, so the staging area. So the staging area was in Healdsburg, California, which was actually 20 miles away from Sebastopol. Overall, the course wasn't modified that much for this particular change. So anyway, we left Healdsburg, we staged, we rolled out, we went out on West Side Road, and we were very quickly on Sweetwater Springs Road. Sweetwater Springs Road is the first climb of the day, and was in the same climb. It's the same road in last year's edition. It's a very technical, steep climb and a very technical, steep descent down into the town of Guerneville. From Guerneville, we rode on Highway 116 all the way to Austin Creek Road. This is more or less highway miles. It's all pavement. It has a pretty good shoulder. I was in a group there of about 8 or 9. I was with Jennifer Schwartz was in my group, as well as Sean Perry, who have both been mentioned in these previous Grasshopper videos I've made. And then there was a lot of other familiar and unfamiliar faces in that group. So together we rolled through Cazadero, and then we started the middle climb, which is Fort Ross Road, and the biggest climb of the day. All right, mid-ride check-in. So we're on Fort Ross Road finally. This is the middle climb. And I made it through the Carnage, which is Sweetwater Springs Road. And now I'm just going up Fort Ross Road. The group has gotten really thin, and now I'm just trying to maintain a steady forward motion. But yeah, it's been raining off and on. My feet are soaking wet. And here is Fort Ross Road. I think that 8 or 9 were ahead of me for the majority of that final climb. How you doing back there? Having fun?
Right. You're so nice, but
He's keeping. They are, I know. We're getting close to the top of this one. It was a lot of fun. We got hit with a couple rainstorms while we were on Fort Ross Road. So again, I was pulling out my jacket out of my back pocket, having to put it on, and then take it off again and roll it up. And it was kind of a hassle, but that was just the way I had set it up, so I had to deal with it. When you get to the top of Fort Ross Road, there was a water station there where I filled up and got another water bottle full of Osmo Nutrition, which is a sports drink type of thing. I'm not sure exactly what's in it, but it's supposed to help with electrolytes. And then from there we head down Seaview Road, down Myers Grade to Highway 1, down to Jenner, and then on to Willow Creek Road, which is the final climb of the day. Willow Creek Road is notoriously flooded, and with all the rain we had, it was very flooded. It was probably some of the worst conditions I've seen it in a long time, and the climb itself was muddy and slippery, but it was a lot of fun though. I have to say, I enjoy the challenge of trying to ride off-road on a little skinny, tired road bike. There's just something fun about it. You can't go very fast, but the fact that you can somehow balance those things on a slippery, muddy road, it's pretty fun. So anyway, I got to the start of that climb and I just managed my effort as best I could and went up the climb. Right in the middle of this climb, there's this really steep section. It's a very, very steep section, and you can almost not even ride it when it's dry, but it's almost impossible to ride it when it's wet. So I decided to jump off and just try to run up it, and I got passed by 2 people who were able to ride the whole thing from the bottom to the top. They rode right past me, and I was super impressed by their ability to ride up that steep, slippery, wet, muddy trail. And then I got to the top, I hopped back on my bike, and I just tried to manage my effort. I felt like I was going through tunnel vision. I just felt like I was blacking out on the bike and just pushing. I knew I was almost there. And the very last section, just before the finish line, there's another little short pitch, and this thing was so thick with mud that I just bogged right down into it and I couldn't even move. So I had to jump off my bike again, push it up, and meanwhile my legs are cramping. I'm trying to push my bike up this last little muddy section. And I get to the top, I see the finish line, I get back on my bike, I can't get my foot into my pedal, it won't clip in, and I'm just like, I just need to go like 20 more pedal strokes and I'm there. So I'm trying to get going, and finally I get going, I cross the finish line, and they announce that I am a... Check this out. I won somehow. I don't know how this happened. I got to win a pair of super nice Oakley sunglasses. These things, I don't know what you guys what you guys think of them or not. I don't know if they fit me well or not. They're not sure they're my style, but I'll take them. They are very nice lenses. They have this film. The film on the lens is really cool. It's when you wear them outside, I've noticed that the shaded areas are brighter and then the brighter areas are shaded. And there's no reflection coming off of things. So when you're looking at like a car windshield, normally you'd have that light reflecting off of it into your eyes. It really tones that down. So I don't know what they did, what kind of lenses they put in here, but or what kind of coating they put on these lenses. They're really nice. I don't think I could have ever afforded a pair of sunglasses like this, so to win them is pretty awesome. Let's take a look at the results. And here we have the overall results for everyone combined into one table. And let's just go to the bottom and see how many people actually finished this ride. There were 160 finishers of the long course. So congratulations to the top 3 finishers. Peter Stetna for finishing in 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 13 seconds, followed by Kevin Gherkins, 3 hours and 12 minutes and 28 seconds. And then shortly after that, Jeff Kabush. Congratulations those to you. 3 amazing results, and congratulations to everyone who went out there and finished this race. These are super hard races. I would say they're probably some of the hardest bike races that you could enter into if you were so inclined. To do that in 3 hours and 12 minutes it just doesn't even seem humanly possible. So let's check out how the women did. We'll go over here, we'll select Pro Women. This website's really cool. I like how it can break it into age group and everything. Anyway, and in first place, with a time of 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 6 seconds, Amity Rockwell, congratulations. You are the winner of the Super Sweetwater Grasshopper race. In second place, Lindsay Dwyer, and third goes to Sarah Max for a time of 3 hours and 51 minutes and 20 seconds. Congratulations, ladies. Well done. So we covered the men's and women's overall. I was able to, let's look at the overall again. Where did I finish? So apply filters. I finished in 57th place in a time of 4 hours and 10 minutes. So I was 58 minutes behind the finishing time of 3 hours and 12 minutes, or whatever it was. So, wow, 7, 5, 6, 4 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. I want to thank the sponsors who came out to help keep us all fueled on the ride. I want to thank the organizers for putting together such a fun event. And I also want to thank all of you for watching. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.